Today, we will talk about the two fathers from Robert Kiyosaki's book. This is a very interesting story that can teach us a lot. One of them was a doctor of sciences and a teacher, and the other, after graduating from only 8 grades, learned everything from experience, became a successful entrepreneur. Both fathers earned enough for a comfortable life, but the second father, before his death, had a significant fortune. He became one of the richest people in Hawaii, leaving tens of millions of dollars to his children. At the same time, the real father left his children only unpaid debts and taxes after his death. Imagine the first father, who was simply called Father Kiyosaki, was a man of science. He gained a lot of knowledge at the university, taught students, and always followed the rules. His life was stable. Although he was very intelligent and educated, his financial situation did not allow him to become rich. And now, let's imagine the second father, the father of Robert's friend. He was a real entrepreneur. He knew how to put his skills into practice. He took a chance, opened his own business, and became successful. He understood how money worked and knew how to earn more. His financial condition was completely different. He had accumulated a lot of wealth and was able to provide for his family. Parents from poor families often teach their children to follow the traditional path, to go to school, get a higher education, and look for a stable job. It sounds quite logical, doesn't it? But there is one important detail here. They don't always teach their children how to manage money or how to create their own sources of income. As a result, children grow up following the same traditions and find themselves in the same financial position as their parents. And now, let's look at the approach of rich people. They often raise their children a little differently. Instead of just emphasizing the importance of education, they teach children how to manage money, how to invest and create a business. They show that wealth can be built, not just earned, and that you need to use your skills and knowledge to achieve success. My family has never belonged to that cherished 1%. Instead of teaching me how to become rich, they unknowingly taught me how to live in conditions of scarcity. All my life I've heard advice: go to university, get a good profession, find a stable job, and earn a salary. Even when I already had my own business, they asked me questions like, if you got a job, it would be better. Are you even looking for a job, son? Under their influence, I enrolled in law school and followed the path that seemed right to them. But everything changed when I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This work has given me more than 4 years of study at the university. The authors of such books, who became the rich dad for me, had a huge impact on my worldview. If you, like me, were not born into a family belonging to the richest 1%, then reading this book will be an important step toward success. After I read this book, I decided that I didn't want to follow the traditional path. Instead of just studying and looking for a stable job, I started thinking about how to create my own business. After the first year of university, I took the plunge and opened my own business. It was a brave act, but I knew that this was how I would be able to realize my ideas and ambitions. This decision was the beginning of my path to financial independence. Instead of following the usual path, I began to build my own. I started learning from my mistakes, gaining experience, and developing my skills. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I believed in myself and my abilities. Many of us mistakenly believe that a high salary will solve all financial problems. However, in fact, the key to well-being is not just a large amount of money, but knowledge that helps you earn it. The problem for many is that we spend time and effort trying to make money, instead of learning how to make money work for us. To do this, we need to understand the two financial terms, assets and liabilities. Let's start with the assets. Assets are all things that bring you income. Examples of assets include a business that you have opened, a property that you rent out, or stocks that you have bought and that are rising in value. Each of these assets works for you and helps you make money. The more assets you have, the more money you can get in the future. Liabilities are what takes your money. Examples of liabilities include expensive items bought on credit, such as cars or fashionable clothes. Although these things look cool, they do not bring you income, but on the contrary, require regular maintenance and payments. It is important to understand the difference between assets and liabilities because it can significantly affect your financial condition. People who understand finance try to accumulate assets and minimize liabilities. For example, if you want to buy a new car, think about how it will affect your budget. If you buy a car with your own money and can earn money from it, for example, rent it out, it will become an asset. But if you buy it on credit and spend on its maintenance, this is already a liability. The key to financial success is the right balance between assets and liabilities. If you want to be financially independent, try to create and accumulate assets that will help you earn money and avoid liabilities that will waste your funds. Often people do not understand where their money is actually going, and this can cause poverty. One of the biggest mistakes poor people make is that they invest their money in liabilities. For example, many people buy expensive cars, fashionable clothes, or the latest gadgets, thinking that this will increase their status. But in fact, these things require constant expenses: insurance, maintenance, repairs. Instead of making money, these liabilities only take away money and do not bring any income. This creates a vicious circle where money is constantly flowing away and savings are not growing. On the other hand, rich people understand that the real power is assets. They know that in order to increase capital, you need to invest in something that makes money. For example, they buy real estate that is rented out or invest in shares of companies that can rise in price. These investments work for them and help them earn even more. The more assets they have, the more money they can earn even when they are not working. Make a budget and keep track of your expenses. This will help you understand where each ruble goes. You can allocate a certain amount for assets and liabilities, but try to keep the focus on what will help you grow financially. Don't forget about the power of long-term investing. Sometimes it's better to wait a bit and not spend the money right away, but invest it for a longer period. The earlier you start investing, the more likely your capital will grow. Many people take out loans to buy something they really want, such as a new car or expensive electronics. But here's the thing: these purchases can create a debt load that will take away your money every month. Imagine taking out a loan to buy a new phone. Although you really want this phone, you will have to pay off the loan every month, which means that part of your income will go to repay the debt. If you already have other loans or obligations, this can become a serious burden. As a result, instead of feeling financially free, you will find yourself in a situation where you constantly need to think about payments. The second point concerns the misconception of apparent well-being. Many people try to impress others by buying expensive things, even if they have serious debt obligations. This creates a false sense of well-being. It's not about spending, but about how to increase your own income and how to properly manage your own funds. Let's say your income is $1,000 per month. It takes about $500 per month to cover your basic needs. Naturally, we all strive for more. There is nothing unusual about this. Of the remaining $500, you can afford to spend $150 to $200 on what you want, and the rest, $300 to $350, invest in an asset that will help increase your income to $1,200 to $1,500. It is important to understand that it is not necessarily about $1,000. It can be either $1,000,000 or $300. Each person determines their income and expenses over time. The most important thing is not how much you earn, but how much you can save and invest. Let's summarize and talk about the main lesson of the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is really a very important idea that can change your attitude to money and financial success. The first key point is that poor people work for money, and rich people make money work for themselves. This is a simple but very powerful difference. Poor people often see work as the only way to earn money. They spend a lot of time in difficult, often unattractive jobs in order to earn a salary, which usually does not allow them to save enough money for their dreams. On the other hand, rich people understand that money can work for them. Instead of just making money, they invest their funds in assets such as real estate, stocks, or businesses. This allows them to earn money even when they are sleeping. This concept requires us to take a new look at finance and how we can manage our money. The second important point is the need for a change of mindset. To achieve financial freedom, you need to think differently. This means that you need to change your approach to money, to work, and to how you spend your resources. Instead of just following the traditional path, study, work, retirement, start thinking about how you can create assets and make money work for you. It may take time and effort, but once you start to perceive money as a tool to achieve your goals, you will see how your financial capabilities expand. Changing your mindset is the first step towards financial independence. So, remember, don't let money control you. Make sure you manage the money. If you liked this video and learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your likes and comments inspire us to create even more interesting and useful content. Stay tuned and see you in the next videos. Take care of yourself and remember that you can change your life just by starting to act.